We are so glad to welcome back to this stage for his second appearance at Tales from the Tavern, Mr. Jack Tempchin, who, by the way, is friends with Henry Dills.
That's right, Henry Dills. I know a tiny bit of the few secrets about Henry Dills. Hardly any, but still enough to fill a book that he wouldn't want to have come out. Yeah, I'm going to have to photograph you guys. I've instructed Henry, who's videoing tonight, to take all the cameras off me and put them on the audience, infrared and all that. Because, like, I get home and I have this thing where I forget that I did anything tomorrow. I go, what did I do? So then I look in here. I go, wow, Jack Previous had a great time. Yeah. Jack Previous is my buddy, although I've never met him personally. But he takes care of things for me. He does a lot of stuff for me. He learned how to play the guitar. I don't know how he did that. He booked this gig for me, and then I just show up. It's really cool. Because I'm kind of trying to live with one foot firmly in the past and one other foot firmly in the future. It just leaves out right now. But hey, come on. You know, who needs that? That goes by anyways. Well, I met my buddy who later got into Eagles, Glenn Fry, and then I was a candle maker at the time. I had my own little candle shop in the garage. Tutti Frutti, Frangipangi. We had all these essences of smells that we used, and I had this giant candle making machine. But anyway, Glenn went off and got in the Eagles, and he went through that for a while, and then they broke up, and he called me and said, let's write a song. And I'd never written a song with him up till then, although they had done a few of my songs, but I'd like to check a guy out for 5 or 10 years, just make sure he's going to be compatible. So I went over his place, and he was renting a house up in the hills, and used to be rented by James Cagney. So I just walked in, and it had a giant ceiling, one big room with a huge fireplace, and I went, I bet they had some interesting parties in this place, you know, the vibe of Cagney and the whole Hollywood thing. And it was in the afternoon, but there were 100 candles burning, and there was some really great bottles of red wine, and I said, oh, so Glenn, you have a date later after we write the song, right? And he goes, no, man, it's the muse. The artist muse is, you know, up there somewhere. And, you know, we're not the only guys trying to write a song right now. There's a lot of guys trying to write a song, and we have to make this place really great so she'll think we're cool, and she'll come down and drop in and give us a song. I'm just saying that because I know some of you are songwriters, and maybe you didn't know about that. So maybe you've been like totally wasting your time. Did you ever think of that? Yeah? You thought it was all about you. No. There's always somebody else part of the action. So we did write this song. Thanks to her. Know you need a friend, someone you can talk to, who will understand what you're going through. When it comes to love, there's no easy answer. Only you can say what you're gonna do. I heard you on the phone. You took his number, said you weren't alone, but you'd call him soon. Isn't that the guy who left you crying? Isn't he the one that made you blue? When you remember those nights in his arms, you know you've got to make up your mind. Are you gonna stay with the one who loves you? Are you going back to the one you love? Someone's gonna cry when they know they've lost you. Someone's gonna thank the stars above. What you gonna say when he comes over? There's no easy way to see this through. All the broken dreams, all the disappointment. Oh girl, what you gonna do? Your heart keeps saying it's just not fair. Still you gotta make up your mind. Are you gonna stay with the one who loves you? Are you going back to the one you love? Someone's gonna cry when they know they've lost you. Someone's gonna thank the stars above.
I started a radio station, a little internet radio station. And you know, a lot of the radio stations say, all hits all the time.
Yeah.
And mine was, no hits ever.
No hits ever. Yeah.
You know, because
hey,
the songs I like anyway are not the hits.
there's a lot of songs.
Although your hits tonight
thank you. Yeah.
opened my heart and made my heart fly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But so just getting back into that thing where a guy can just sit down with a guitar and make a song happen. And it's kind of where I started out in the folk thing. Jackson Browne came down to the candy company and played Song for Adam. And, you didn't really need anything else. But when you make a record, no one made a record like that because that was not going to ever get in the radio.
Right.
But now I'm thinking, well, I don't care. There's 6,000 radios now, so I'm just going to come back to that. That's why this place is so great, because it gave me the opportunity to do that, and an audience that bothers to listen. It's quite unusual.
Right on.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. So I'm here. I got here because the river of music that I jumped in when I was 16 or 18 years old has taken me all over the place, and tonight dropped me off here where I can just be like a part of this cool community, even though I'm not. So I'm so pleased to be here. So I'm pretty much, they call me Midnight Jack, and I don't know why I haven't picked up that name, just because I've seen every midnight for the last 40-some years. But still, I get up a little bit late. I sleep pretty late, and then I get up and I go out in LA to find something to do. And I usually get to the place closest to my house right before it closes. And so it's closing, and I go in there, and it's a famous music nightclub, but it's not a hotel and it's not a cafe. And in fact, there's no sign on the front either. You have to go in through the alley in the back. It's in Hollywood. So if you don't know, it's like Louis Armstrong said when someone said, "Mr. Armstrong, what is jazz?" And he said, "Lady, if you don't know, don't mess with it." That's the way the new music scene is, but I hang around, and by virtue of being the old guy that shows up late, I go in and I met all the bartenders and the waitresses, and they let me sit in the empty club when everything's closed. And that's the way I like it, you know. So then I sit there, I go up on the stage kind of like this, there's a piano, and I play it, and then I'm waiting for the guy in the movie. I've seen this movie a bunch of times, different movies really, where, you know, I get up on stage and it's empty, there's nobody in the crowd. I do my song, and then when I'm finished, it turns out there was a guy in the back, I didn't see him. He gets up and goes, "You've seen that movie?" And then he goes, "I happen to be the biggest producer in Hollywood. I'm gonna make you a star." And then a bunch of headlines swirl around on the newspapers, and boom. And so I'm waiting for that. That's my plan. I'm working on that, and I go up and play all the time. So far, the guy hasn't showed up. But you know, it's like getting a job. You only have to happen once. He'll show up, and boom, that'll be it. And by that time, I'll go, you know, I think I'm too tired now. I'm not interested in being a star. But anyway, I was up there the other night. I played this song. The guy didn't get up when it was over, but still, I thought I made up a pretty good song, and here it is. Just a few drinkers sitting at the bar, wishing on a long gone lucky star, while the blues pours down from the loneliest piano in town. She let me down, left me flat. I didn't know what to do after that. I found this lonesome-hearted clown playing the loneliest piano in town. A keyboard guy came in. He thought he could sing the blues, but he broke down, cried like a baby when your man played Born to Lose. Now they all come down to hear the loneliest piano in town. Yeah, you know he plays down by the waterfront in a funky little dive. He should be in the big time, in the spotlight, but nobody knows he's alive. 'Cause when he plays, you can feel it. He's got a bad broken heart, and every song he sings is gonna tear you apart. He played so sweet, he played so sad, that I forgot after a while the blues I had, and I let my troubles drown in the loneliest piano in town. And then this other thing, like Mozart said, neither imagination or whatever else he said is the soul of genius. He goes, love is the soul of genius. And I think that what he meant was, you know, you love it, and you love it more and more, and you're so consumed by your love of what it is you're doing, that's what causes you to be a genius. Like Mozart was consumed by it when he was 9 years old or 5 when he wrote Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or whatever. And it's the amount of love that determines how good you are. So I would just look at other guys. You're always sort of competing as you go up, you know, and then you see somebody like Bob Dylan, you go, well, I can't compete with that guy. He's on a complete other level, like he's not even human, he's so good. But the thing is, ultimately, he just loved it more. He's just loved it so much more than me that he got so much better at it that he's him. And I think that's how it works.
Is that your explanation of it?
I do think that's how it works. So this is a little song, you know, you fall in love and you trip and fall and smash your face, then you're in love. And then, you know, it's easy to get in. When I met Rick Danko one time, I shook hands with him, and he goes, hi, how you doing, man? Cool. You'd like to get to know me, huh? And so I was opening a show for him, and I go, well, yeah, man. And he goes, hey, that's cool. I'm easy to get to know, but I'm hard to get rid of. And I just had an image of him like sleeping on the floor of my house for 6 months or something. Easy to get to know. Anyway, but it's easy to fall in love, but sometimes it's hard to extricate yourself in the way you'd like to. So I wrote this song about that with my friend Rob Stramlin. We were drunk in the back of this nightclub, and I had wanted to write a country song, but I didn't know how. But Rob was a country singer. He had a horse and a dog and some cowboy boots. So I thought, he's gonna know. He'll know how to. So we got drunk and we made up this song. We got up on stage and played it, and then we kind of forgot about it. And a few years later, I got a call from Glenn Frey, and he's going, hey, you know that song I heard one time? A country song? I think that'd be a good rock song. And I went, oh, yeah, you're right. Definitely, it would. And then he called me back a few days later and held up the phone in the studio, and the Eagles had recorded this country song and turned it into a rock song, and that was cool. And then I forgot, you know, then it went on to do its own thing. And then a few months ago, someone came up at a gig and gave me a tape. When I originally played the song with Rob Stramlin that one time after we wrote it, someone had taped it. This was like in the 70s, and there was the tape, and here we were forgetting the words and doing it, and it was kind of a little magic moment for my memory. But the song really changed my life because of the gigantic checks. They started coming in, and I had to deal with those. And some of you know how it is. Has anybody here won the lottery and had to forget all their old friends? Yeah, it's kind of like that. And then I thought, what am I going to do for this world that's done so much for me? And I started to make some moves, you know, and then I realized, no, man, you don't know what you're doing. You have to learn something, get some information. So I started traveling and writing and reading, and then I thought, this is too slow. It's too slow. I'm not learning enough. So I started watching TV. And then I had my own remote at that time they didn't have remotes. I had a stick with some gummed eraser on the end, so I could turn down Cal Worthington. But then I finally got a remote, and I said, man, well, this is the greatest educational tool ever, this remote. I can be in 15 cities at once, going bam, 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 bam. And so that's what I did, and I studied intensively. I watched TV for 20 years intensively, so I could gather all the data so that I'd have some way to make a decision about what to do for this world. And I'm happy to say that it's worked out really good, and I'm probably going to decide something cool to do any day now. So, but at least I got the info, and that's because of this song. So, but meanwhile, if you want to sing it with me, I'd appreciate it. Heard some people talking just the other night. Said you're gonna put me on the shelf. Got some news for you, and you'll soon find out it's true. And you'll have to eat your lunch all by yourself. 'Cause I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong. Sing it with me. I will sing this victory song. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo! The letter that you wrote me made me stop and wonder why. I guess you felt you had to set things right. But just remember this, when you look up at the sky, you see the sun and never see the light. But I don't care, 'cause I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong. I will sing this victory song. Woohoo! That's good when you're drunk. It's perfect when you're drunk. I know it wasn't you that held me down, but I know it wasn't you that set me free. Oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in chains, never even know we have the key. Yeah, but me, I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong. I will sing this victory song. Woo-hoo-hoo! 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 Woo-hoo! Yeah, so a couple months ago, I was thinking, well, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? So when YouTube came out, the first week YouTube came out, I drove home from the studio in LA, and I got my Mac and I made a video. I took a piece of a song that I'd made up in the studio, which was about cosmic stuff like the stars and the time, astronomical time, and so I took that piece and then I put a bunch of pictures to it of swirling galaxies and stuff. I put it up on YouTube. YouTube was brand new.
Did you know how to do this?
I just figured it out, you know, and nothing happened for about 2 years because I was like way ahead of the curve, you know. So, but now the technology's there and anyone can reach everybody in a minute. And so I decided, well, I'll write a song every day and I'll video it, me doing it, and I'll put it up there. And so it's been a great way for me to wake myself up. And also, you know, you're just a musical dinosaur trying to remain relevant in a world where everything has passed you by, and there's millions of people on the charts that you've never heard of, and music has gone this way and that way. Now, there's still a lot of people that appreciate all the old stuff too, but a guy likes to think he's maybe a little more than what he did 15 years ago. I mean, he's not, but he likes to think he is. So I'm thinking I'll do this song a day, and I've got about 2 months worth of songs there now. And they vary in subject matter and they vary in quality, but I'm just going to keep doing it from now on as long as I can get Jack to do it. So I got a new project, and it's called Song a Day. Yeah, anybody see that? Okay. And you look it up on the internet by going jacksongaday.com, and then it takes you to my song a day. And it's not a song every day, it's just a song whatever day I decide to put it up there. But it's been most every day, and I'm putting them up there, and it's been a couple of months, so I got around 40, 50 songs. And I just write them every day, and then through the magic of technology, I video them and put them up there and see what happens. That's my plan, see what happens. So I'm doing that, and I want to play one or two of these songs that I've written in the last 30 days for the Song a Day. And, it'll explain itself. Jesus and Mohammed sitting underneath the tree. Mohammed said they're fighting over you and me. Jesus said there are armies marching through sacred lands. Brother fighting brother for a patch of sand. This isn't what we wanted, both of them did say. How did all our words of love bring us to this day? They sat a while in silence in the fading light. Mohammed said 1,000,000 souls pray for peace tonight. Still the fight continues. We've done all we can do. Don't they see there is no war between me and you? Jesus and Mohammed sitting underneath a tree. Mohammed said they're fighting over you and me.
Comment on that song about Jesus and Muhammad.
Yeah, my friend came up with the idea. We're sitting around, and what if everybody's supposed to go to heaven if there's a heaven according to both religions? Well, then wouldn't they be up there, and wouldn't they be sitting around a tree, and what would they think? And so when you start from that, it just pretty much wrote itself. You know, it's kind of like, obviously this isn't what they were planning on.
Right.
So I like that song. I think
Me too.
Came from the original thought, and pretty much came out the way I wanted it to. So this is the first time I've performed it.
Oh, wow.
Live. Yeah, I did it on the internet, but I haven't done it live yet, so I had to
We loved it.
figure out how to play it on the guitar. So I'm going to play one more for the Song a Day batch, and it's one of my favorites. There's a much better Amy in Greenville than the one I got waiting at home. 'Cause the Amy at home, she turns me off, but the Greenville one, she turns me on. And I never have to worry that I'll say the wrong name, 'cause Amy is Amy, and it's always the same. There'll be no more missing Amy when I'm out on the road all alone. 'Cause there's a much better Amy in Greenville than the one I've got waiting at home. There's a nice little Amy in Charlotte that I am just getting to know. 'Cause a man should never be lonely wherever he may have to go. And I never have to worry I'll say the wrong name, 'cause Amy is Amy, and it's always the same. Oh, there'll be no more missing Amy when I'm on the road all alone. There's a much better Amy in Greenville than the one I've got waiting at home. Hello, darling. What's your name? Judy? That's a good name, yeah. Yeah, hey. Say, mind if I call you Amy? Oh, great.
Who is that person? What is that voice that you said is, if this is good enough?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole challenge of the whole thing, is how you decide what's good enough and what's not good enough. That's everything, because there's two guys involved. There's the editor who decides what's good enough. Then there's the other guy, Alberto, and Alberto just makes up the stuff. But a lot of people have a beautiful, brilliant Alberto, but then they just take the first thing that comes out, or their judgment of what's good in the end may make sense to them, but not to other people. So it's all about deciding of the stuff you've done, which stuff you want to have come out, what's good and what's not.
And for you, is Alberto and the editor ever hanging out together at the same time?
Yeah, they hang out. They hang out, but then the editor comes in later in the morning. And
does the editor ever show up at the point of conceiving Song a Day?
I try to get him out of there. He's so critical, and I don't like anybody that says anything I do is not perfect at the time. I just want encouragement, not criticism. So right. I don't let that guy show up till later, when then he can throw the whole thing away in the trash, and I won't care, because something I wrote for a TV show. I had a lot of cool looking cops in $10,000 suits and pastel colors. It's really cool. Really cool. Kind of reminded me of when I was a cool cop in Florida busting drug dealers. I only busted the bad guys. Sun goes down and the night rolls in. You can feel it starting all over again. The moon comes up and the music calls. You're getting tired of staring at the same four walls, and you're out of your room and down on the street, moving through the crowd in the midnight heat. And the traffic roars, the sirens scream. You look at the faces, it's just like a dream. Nobody knows where you're going. Nobody cares where you've been. But you belong to the city. You belong to the night. Living in a river of darkness beneath the neon light. You were born in the city, concrete under your feet. It's in your blood, it's in your moves. You're a man of the street. Said goodbye, you were on the run, trying to get away from the things you've done. Now you're back again and feeling strange. So much has happened, but nothing has changed. You still don't know where you're going, still just a face in the crowd. But you belong to the city, you belong to the night. Living in a river of darkness beneath the neon light. You were born in the city, concrete under your feet. It's in your blood, it's in your moves. You're a man of the street. You can feel it, you can taste it, you can see it, you can face it, you can hear it now, you're getting near it. You wanna make it, yeah, 'cause you can take it, you can take it. You belong, oh you belong, you belong, oh you belong. It's already, you know, my friend Lucy has Lucy's El Adobe restaurant.
Right.
And once in a while, because she knows everybody from Carl Jung to astronauts to, she's met everybody in her life, and including the Dalai Lama. So once in a while the monks come to her restaurant and they spend weeks making a sand painting on the floor of her restaurant, dropping one grain of colored sand at a time. And it turns out these sand paintings are a lot more than you think, because I read a book on them, and not only does the final picture have all this stuff, which is preordained, but there are layers underneath with other pictures, other colors that they have to do. So they'll have 3 grains of sand deep, and they'll have actually 3 pictures. And they do this right on the floor of Lucy's El Adobe restaurant. Then when they're done with it, they just brush up all the sand into a pile, and then they take it and throw it in the ocean. So the point being that the doing it is its own thing, and if it doesn't make it to the next level, it doesn't really matter because you've done it. Anyway, this was written in the 60s. The exact year was 1972. You probably remember, if you were there, that was one of the peak years of the 60s. Probably the best year of the 60s, 1972. So this song was recorded by my friend Johnny Rivers. It's late at night and we're all alone. Just the music of the radio. No one's coming no one's gonna telephone. Just me and her and the lights down low, and we're slow dancing, swaying to the music. Slow dancing, just me and my girl. Slow dancing, swaying to the music. No one else in the whole wide world. And we just flow together when the lights are low. And shadows dancing all across the wall. The music's playing so soft and slow. And the rest of the world so far away and small, and we're slow dancing, swaying to the music. Slow dancing, just me and my girl, yeah. Slow dancing, swaying to the music. No one else in the whole wide world. Hold me, she said, hold me. I'll never let her go. As we dance together in the dark, there's so much love in this heart of mine. She whispers to me and I hold her tight. She's the one I thought I'd never find. We're slow dancing, swaying to the music. Slow dancing, just me and my girl, yeah. Slow dancing, swaying to the music. No one else in the whole wide world. In the whole wide world. Because of the internet, I feel like I have this power to do something new and be somebody doing something right now. And most people are not going to be interested. If they're going to be interested in me, they're going to be interested in the songs I've written before, and that's fine. Maybe they're not even going to like my new stuff. I mean, probably a lot of songwriters that I know who've written great songs that I love, maybe I don't want to hear what they're doing now. But for me, I need that. I still feel like I'm an artist and still want to be creating. I want to have some kind of audience for what I'm creating now.
Right.
And so I don't, without the internet, with the music, if I had to go through the music business instead of the internet, that would not be possible.
Because
they're not interested in old dinosaurs that don't sell records, you know, just by the nature of it. But somehow I have access to everybody in the world. And all I have to do is write one song that is either so good that everybody tells their friends and they come listen to it, or a song that is so wonderfully stupid that everybody will just dig it and come check it out. And then people will go, oh, this is a guy that I can get entertainment from now, as well as the stuff he's done before.
Right.
And if it doesn't happen, I'm still getting to do the stuff. And so yeah, that's the struggle. It's kind of how to remain relevant until you drop dead. It's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I know my show's kind of been really fast-paced, but I saw the Grammys and I saw Pink, descending from the ceiling on a trapeze, almost naked, singing her song. And that's why I have these flashy tuning sections and stuff, because I'm trying to. I used to do the trapeze thing, but I'm not doing that anymore. Well, I was down in San Diego many years ago. By the way, this is my last song, so I want to thank you very much for doing the one thing that's important, and that is showing up. Thank you very much. I'll introduce this by, it's about love, of course, and I was falling in love a lot back when I wrote this song. I had a gig in beautiful El Centro, California. Anybody been there? It's a good place to go get a taco or something. And the waitress did not go home with me, so I was left in the club all by myself, sleeping on the floor, and I couldn't sleep, and so I started writing this song. I got back to San Diego and I saw all these beautiful girls, and I fell in love with a girl. I saw her sitting at the bus stop outside the window of my house. So I fell in love with her, and then we had this relationship, and it was very dramatic, and then we fought and we loved and everything, and then the bus came and she got on it. And I was doing that a lot back then, and then I thought, well, maybe all this heartbreak maybe it has something to do with, maybe it's in my head. Could it be just, nah, maybe it could. So as I walked around, I saw other beautiful women, I put them in the song, and then I finished it up. I had purchased a guitar, a Stella, that's what Leadbelly played. And it has a steel reinforced neck, and it cost me $13. I bought it in a pawn shop. And I was playing it everywhere I went. It was sort of attached to me in those days, and I wrote the last verse of this song in San Diego on Washington Boulevard in the parking lot of the Der Wiener Schnitzel. And that's still there. Somehow 30 years later, everything else is different, but the Der Wiener Schnitzel still there, the same Polish dog. So how are you going to figure life if the Der Wiener Schnitzel is what's going to survive? Sing along with this if you like.
Yeah.
I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around. I got a peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't let me down. I'm already standing on the ground. I found out a long time ago what a woman can do to your soul. Oh, but she can't take you anyway. You don't already know how to go. I got a peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't let me down. I'm already standing on the ground. Something tells me I may know you as a lover and a friend. This voice keeps whispering in my other ear, I may never see you again. But I got a peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't let me down. I'm already standing. I'm already standing. I'm